Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome to today's webinar. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for waiting there. Just whilst we get a few other people into the room and we're ready to start. We've got everybody ready. Here we are, Tuesday, 21st of April. And today we are talking about social media and how you can create your own social media campaign to drive more people to your business, get more followers on social media, and just genuinely create the right ad, the right post that will make sure that you're using all the Facebook best practices. Couldn't get my words out, but we're going to go through that one today. And so we've got a cracking one lined up today, and we've got Sam joining us, who I'll introduce in a minute. But before I do, hello to everyone in the chat. Thank you for joining today. We've got quite a lot of you here, and so if you've just missed what I said there, we're going to be starting our session really soon, and it's about social media and how you can create your own social media campaign posts using all the Facebook best practices. So we're going to start that imminently. We're just waiting on a few more people to join, a few late arrivals. Hello everyone. Hello Nicholas, hello Rachel, give you a few shout outs. Gary, Anne, hi Anne, hairandporium.co.uk. Gerard again, good to see you. Anyone want to do a Google 5-star review for Leo Wilkinson Photography? Why not? You know, go jump on Leo Wilkinson Photography on Google and a 5-star review, or well, whatever. I'm sure you've got lots of customers, Leo, in here that have used you. Michelle, hi. Denise, hi. Otalia, hi again. Good to see you all today. We've got a lot of people in the chat and a lot of people in the room. And we're going to start. So let's get on with it. And today I've got Sam King, our head of social media here at InfoServe. InfoServe is a Google Premium partner, Microsoft Elite partner, the highest partnerships you can get with both Google and Microsoft. But we also work with Facebook. We've also been to their office many times and gone through all of their training and best practices. So here we go. Hello, Sam. Are you there?
Am I here? Am I here?
He's there. He's there.
Hey.
Hi, Sam.
How you doing?
Hi, good, thanks. You?
Yeah, I'm alive, which is
Right.
all
Good,
we can ask for.
Yeah. And you've had a little break recently.
I have. I've had 10 days off, which was insane. So good.
Good timing to have a few days off as well.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see you, Sam. Now, you're the guy who's got all the knowledge about Facebook ads and in terms of creating the perfect post, the perfect ad, right? So you're going to show us today how, your recommendations in terms of video ads or image ads and what to write in the ads and the type of audience you want to be considering and all that kind of stuff.
I am indeed.
Good. What I'm going to do then is share my screen. We've got a few things we want to do today. So if I just do that for us now, and your face should come up, your picture, Sam King. Can you see yourself there? Is that okay? Can you see the screen?
It's quite blurry for me.
Okay. We'll see if it calms down. Well, we're going to crack on in a second. What I'll do just before I share my screen, though, guys, I'm just going to upload it to here just in case we have a few issues. So I'm just going to upload the presentation just in case I need to actually go in and do it live without sharing my screen. So bear with me whilst I do that, and that's just uploading now. So before we crack on, Sam, we're going to go through the interface on Facebook. Is that correct? We're going to actually go through, and what are we going to do? Go through the step-by-step process of creating an ad?
Yeah, so basically from clicking build an ad all the way through to actually putting the creative in and getting it live. So we'll talk about the different optimizations, basically trusting the machine to do what you want it to do, and then building an audience that will actually get to the people that you want it to get to, and then actually what you're going to put in front of them. So the full shebang, basically, when it comes to Facebook ads.
The full shebang. Okay, indeed. All right. So we can start. I think everyone's here, so we can get on with it. Let me. I know it might be a bit blurry, but let me just see if it settles down or calms down, if that's okay. I'm just going to go through the introductory bits first, so don't worry if it's a little bit blurry. But effectively, what I just wanted to reiterate is we are working closely with Facebook. You can see their logo just at the bottom there. So we do work closely with Facebook. We're a marketing partner. But we are, like I said to everyone, we're a Google Premier Partner and Microsoft Elite Partner. This is the highest level of accreditation and partnership you can get with Google and Microsoft. We're the only one in the whole of Yorkshire as well. So just wanted to make sure that you've got all that reassurance and trust in that everything we show you today or in previous webinars is best practice, and it's the stuff that Google, Microsoft, Facebook would also advise and try to help you with. So we're working on behalf of those guys. We're the only company in the UK to have all of the partnerships you see on screen there. So hopefully that gives a bit of trust and credibility as to who we are, and we can move forward. So yeah, what we're doing today is we are going to be helping you set up your social media for success. That is the focus today. So if you've joined the webinar and you want to know more about getting more followers to your Facebook page, your Instagram page, this is the one for you. But indeed, there is a lot to take in when it comes to social media, and there's a lot more you could do. And so we're going to try and go over the basics today. And then if there's more needed, we'll do another webinar and we'll do a bit more of an advanced webinar on that. So yeah, we're going to be looking at social media. We're going to be showing you how to create the ads for different platforms and for different devices as well, and different places within Facebook, because you can create lots of different ads that go in different places. So we're going to be walking through that. So let's start with that live walkthrough, Sam, if that's okay. What I'll do is I'm going to dive onto the ads creator. So I'll explain what that is. But what I'm going to do is go to here. Now, can you just let me know, and we've got Josh in there as well. Josh, I haven't got my messaging with me, so I don't know if it's blurry or not. Just let us know if it's too blurry, and we'll see if we can fix it. How's it looking, Sam?
Yeah, I'm blurry. I obviously know what they say, but if you don't know what it says, I don't think you can read the words.
Okay, Josh, let me know how that's looking, if that's okay. To see if it's. Can't hear Josh, unfortunately. So I don't know if he's there. Anyone in the chat, can you just let me know if that's too blurry, how it's looking, and we'll crack on if it's okay, if you can read it. Sam, can you see the chat?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so everyone is saying it's blurred, unfortunately.
Okay. Sam, have you got the same screen open on yours? Because you can share yours.
I
Do you
can.
want to have a quick go, see if you can share your screen,
Sure.
and do the same.
Ooh, can you see that?
Not yet, but I'll tell you what, before you do, Sam,
Yeah.
one thing that might be, you know this, so let's, because I know you want to talk about a couple of things before we get on with it, don't you?
Yes.
So you want to talk about the campaign and building a campaign, and you want to talk about audience bidding. Do you want to go through the setup first, or do you want to talk about this first, which is best for you?
I mean, it's best to kind of do it as we're going along, really. Otherwise,
sure. Okay.
So I mean, I can talk about the different ad optimizations. If you guys have ever used Facebook ads before, not just the boosting, but the actual ads manager, I'm sure you'll have seen all of the different optimizations. Matt, I know you've used it before. They all do similar things, but obviously very different things. The nice thing about Facebook is they have so much data on everyone that these optimizations actually do what they say. So it is good to trust the machine itself. So, I mean, there's brand awareness. If you want to get your business out there and get people to learn what you're actually doing, then brand awareness will do, because it will essentially take you to as many different people as possible with an interest in kind of what you do, and then they will learn about your business. It's as simple as that. In terms of reach as well, if you just want loads and loads of people to know that you exist, reach will do that for you. And those are kind of the awareness objectives within the Facebook Ads Manager. Now, I mean, tell me if I'm being too deep here. Can you guys see kind of, have you guys used it before, or should we go kind of even higher up? Anyone in the chat?
What we should do is we'll dive straight into the interface and we'll start from the start. I mean, Josh, are you ready, Josh? If you can dive in, because we can't see or hear you, but I know Josh is trying to share his screen. But effectively, what we're going to do is we're going to share the screen so you can see. You can basically see where to start. But Sam, effectively, when it comes to starting an ad campaign on Facebook, one question I've got for you before we kick on here is. We're going to help everyone today get more followers to their Facebook page or the Instagram page, or just generally get more engagement and get more traffic through their social media. The best way to do that is to set up a Facebook ad campaign, right?
Yeah. So as we touched on the last time, Facebook organic reach is very low. Obviously, we've all used Facebook for 10 years now, and they've realized they can market it quite a lot. So the best way to get your business out there is to pay for ads. Now, thankfully, they are quite cheap compared to kind of the other options out there. So you can get a lot of bang for your buck. But the best way to get out there is definitely through Facebook ads versus just posting and posting and posting. Obviously you can do that, but it does take a long time. I mean, I can see in the chat here people have tried them before, but they've got discouraged basically.
Sorry, Sam, I was just going to say, just on that point, when it comes to creating a Facebook ad campaign, I think there's typically, there's 2 or 3 things that can go wrong, isn't there? Let's pick out the top 2 to 3 things that people can do that sometimes lead to it not working, because there's going to be lots of people in the chat saying, I've tried this and it doesn't work. What would you say are the top 2 or 3 things?
I mean, I can see one in the chat already, and it's somebody has used the boost button. Now, even our Facebook partner, the guy that we speak to directly, has said that we are saying the right thing by telling people not to use the boost button. What the boost button does, you basically give it X amount of money, and then it will take the thing that you want promoting to as many people as possible. If you are looking for somebody to download an app, or if you're looking for somebody to jump onto your website and start considering you, or if you're wanting somebody to get onto your e-commerce website and buy something, that is not the way to do it. And like every form of advertising, the money that you put in, it will spend. So if you're not optimizing for the correct thing, then it will just take your money and run away with it, unfortunately. So the boost button is probably the biggest no-no in my head. The second kind of thing is the audience itself. So people can go, I want to target grandmas from Scarborough who like ice cream. So great niche. But if you have a product that is £4,000 and you've got an audience, because how many grandmas are there in Scarborough who like ice cream? Probably 3,000-4,000 of them. The buying cycle for that product is going to be too long for that audience. So you're spending a lot of money to get your one product in front of one person who's then not going to possibly even consider buying it. But if they are considering buying it, it takes a long time. So the smaller your audience, the more you're going to pay for a click, basically. Yeah,
that's good feedback. That's good. That's a very good point. And also you're saying just at the start there that using the boost isn't the way that I agree. So just to reiterate the same, Josh, we can see the screen. It's perfect. It's just nice when you zoom in because we can read it a bit easier when you zoom in. And that's it. Yeah, it's just a bit easier. Just if we stick on that bit there for now, that's perfect. But what Sam will come back. What we're doing, guys, is we're saying don't click the boost button, and instead you want to be using. If I just put this in the chat, you want to be using business.facebook.com. Is that right, Sam?
Yeah, that will take you to your kind of main portal for getting to your ads manager.
Yeah. So basically, if you go, or if you after this webinar, go to business.facebook.com, and that is your ads manager portal. I can see Josh is trying. What we're on here, Josh, is perfect. This is basically the business manager portal that I'm referring to. So what will happen is once you've signed up to business.facebook.com, you'll end up where you can get to this screen here, and you'll get to this screen that we're looking at by just clicking create an ad. Now, what's the benefit, Sam, just in a nutshell, really, kind of bullet point, what's the benefit of using business? I know you've mentioned it, not using the boost button, but why use the business.facebook portal? What's the big benefit?
Well, I mean, the main benefit is that you can optimize for your specific goal. So as you can see on that screen, unfortunately, I can't see the screen that Josh has got on. I've got the slides that we've got. But I'm assuming it's the first page for choosing your objective.
There we go. Yeah, so you can see the screen now, hopefully. So basically what we're looking at on Josh's screen is, what is your marketing objective? Yeah. And so that is the starting point here as to where we are in terms of going on to the business manager. Yeah. Now, it looks like we're all set up. I can hear you, Sam. I can see this. You can see the screen as well?
I still can't see the screen.
Okay.
I'll talk around it. I've played with it enough to understand what is there. Obviously, if I'm saying something that is wrong, then we'll work around it.
So just before we get on with it, we're just gonna ask everyone in the audience, can everyone hear Sam? And in a moment, can everyone see Josh's screen? He's going to share his screen. So Josh, if you just want to share that screen again, and then we'll make sure Sam can see it. There we go.
Yes, I can see it now.
Perfect. And so what we're looking at here is the business portal, the business manager portal. And this is at business.facebook.com. And then what we're going to advise you to do is click on create an ad. And then you're taken through to this screen here. And then this is where you can start to, as Sam mentioned, thanks everyone in chat. Yeah, it looks all good now. This is where you can now optimize and choose your goals. You're going to be creating a campaign around a goal. And over these last couple of weeks, we've talked about how important it is to choose your goal. And that's why just clicking the boost button on your post isn't that powerful anymore. It doesn't work as well as doing it this way, because this gives you the opportunity to actually choose your goal first of all. Now, let's say, Sam, for example, I want to get more followers to my Facebook page and my Instagram page. Which one on here would I pick?
So for building a following, we're going to click engagement.
Okay, so
fun. There's three of us.
let's click engagement, Josh. And then there's a couple of options that come up here, I believe, at the bottom.
Yeah. So what it will then do, so you can either have post engagement, page likes, or event responses. Now, post engagement will basically put something that you want people to see in front of a user who is likely to engage with it. So, you know, click like and share for entry into a raffle, that kind of thing. This is what these are quite good for, particularly if you are happy to pay for it, because it will put you in front of a user who actively engages with a lot of posts. Page likes is obviously what we are going to be wanting to click, because page likes will put your page and a description of it in front of somebody who is likely to follow the page. And obviously with the audience that we are then going to pick later, they are quite likely to be interested in what you do. And then event responses is basically you've built an event on your Facebook page, you're putting it in front of somebody who engages with a lot of different events. Again, going back to the machine itself, the optimizations are around the user themselves. So if you're telling it to get you page likes is going to put you in front of people who like a lot of pages. If you're wanting engagement, it will put you in front of people who engage with things. If you're wanting, traffic or conversions later on in this, it will put you in front of people who likely to click on and go through to a website or are likely to convert with a product. You should trust Facebook to spend your money wisely. I know it's kind of hard to do that, but really trust the machine.
Okay, so if I'll come back to the page likes one in a moment, the engagement. If you go back to the top, Josh, a little bit, if you scroll back up, what I want to do is I want to run an offer. So let's say I want to get out of this period, this COVID-19 period, with an offer or promotion. I just want to get a lot of traction into my business, maybe inquiries for that offer. Which one would I pick?
So in terms of kind of your first offer, I would always go first with traffic. And the reason being, these people have never interacted with you before. So why would they convert at the end of the day? I'm sure you've talked about this in the webinars previously, and the buying cycle. So we clicked on traffic. What this will do, you can put your offer out there. So Matt's
20%.
20% off Matt in general. We've put the reasons why, and then they click and they go through to your landing page on your website about the 20% off Matt. And in there you can kind of harvest the data for the inquiries. Later on, you can then target with conversions and things like that. But initially, kind of this is where you're going to want to push them through from, because they are just considering you.
Okay, so what we're saying is for this particular one, we're going to send them straight to my website.
Yes.
And then for the engagement one, they're just one we're talking about before, we're sending it straight to our page itself.
Yes.
The social media pages. Okay, that's really useful. I think for a small business, those two options are probably going to be quite popular. So you can actually drive traffic to your social media with engagement. So with the engagement one just below that, Josh, you can actually drive people to your social media channels and get more likes. And with the traffic one above that, you can actually get people straight to your website, to a landing page. We've talked about landing pages. We've talked about how you can run promotions. And those are two really good options to drive people, new people to your business. There's obviously a lot of other options on here. And just really, that last one I wanted to ask you about was brand awareness and maybe reach on the left-hand side there on the awareness column.
So the awareness objectives, that is essentially what the boost button does. It will take whatever you want to push and it will get it out to as many people as possible. Brand awareness is more about kind of your brand itself and pushing the USPs, and it will prompt you with that. Reach, it will literally take the budget that you give it and throw you in front of as many people in the audience that you've done.
So what's the difference between throwing me in front of as many people and then the engagement one, which I'd hope it would be throwing me in front of a lot of people as well? So as I said previously, engagement will get you in front of people who are likely to engage. It's a different type of user, whereas reach, it will just put you in front of a blanket anyone. Okay, that's a great answer. Yeah. Okay, so let's go for engagement, if that's okay.
Yeah.
And I want to run a campaign that's going to get me more people to like my page. I want to get more relevant people that might be interested in my services, and I want them to like my Facebook page and my Instagram page. So let's go ahead and go through. Yeah. So it's page likes.
So we've clicked page likes. We can keep it as engagement unless you're running a lot, and then you obviously want to differentiate between your campaigns. An A/B test, it is very useful to test things, and what this does is basically pair off two different ads with slightly different either copy or creative or audiences or different deliveries, whatever it is, and you can pair it off and see what works best. With a smaller budget, not great, because you do need a good chunk of budget for it. But when you are kind of building up your ads and scaling them, so you're getting more stuff through it, it's always relevant and it's always useful to A/B test.
You make
a side note.
Sorry, Sam. Sorry,
No,
mate. I was saying it's a very good point you make, and it's something I distinctly remember Facebook advising. When myself, I can't remember if you were at this session, but myself and the CEO actually were down at Facebook, and they were saying to us, make sure you split test as much as you can. So yeah, you've got basically 2, 3, 4 different versions of the same ad. And what they were saying is all you need to do is either change the headline title or change the image. And they showed an example of how they'd split test the same ad. So it's for one company and it was the same ad, but all they did is change the image color on each one. So it's yellow, blue, red, green. And so what happens is your budget is then spread across those 4 different versions, or in this case, 2 different versions. And then at the end of a certain time period, the winner, the best performing ad, gets most of the budget, right? So basically, you're running a budget across the same ad, but slightly different on each one. And then the best performing ad will then get all of that budget.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, you can change a lot of different things. So if you're worried about your audience styles, you can split test audiences. Again, that would require a bigger budget. If you just want to change some quick creative color, then that's a really good thing to do. If you want to change some copy, like the headline, like you've said, that's good. Or other placements as well, because obviously Facebook owns both Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and the Facebook network as well. So Messenger. That kind of thing. So you can actually choose to display it in different places. That's more based on your demographics and things, but generally, I would always tell it to find the best place for it on its own. And again, it comes down to trusting the machine, because it will spend money for you.
Automatic kind of placement, basically, which we'll get to in a minute. But what Josh is showing there, what we're showing on screen here, is that the placement, the variables that you can choose for doing these A/B tests or split tests. And this, again, is just to reiterate, this is something Facebook themselves really recommended us to use, because the reason being is it really maximizes the money that you're putting into your budget. It really makes good use of that budget. And so Sam touched on there, you can mess around with the creative. And when we say creative, it could just be the color of the image. It could just be the image that you're picking. It could just be the headline text that you've used on your ad, or you can actually mess around with the placement. And just one big point that Sam mentioned there is that Facebook owns Instagram, WhatsApp, and many other different platforms. So all of your placements could be different on each variable. But what we'll do is we'll come back to A/B testing on another webinar, and we'll actually maybe show you how to do different.
We've opened a can of worms there, basically talking about A/B testing. So
I think the focus today is keeping it really simple. Small budget. So let's think of a small business. And should we do lifetime budget, Sam, or daily budget? We've only got a small budget.
So depending on kind of how you like to spend your money. So ideally, I'd run it for a couple of months, kind of an ad and adjust accordingly. So you could put a couple of pounds a day in. Or you could do a lifetime and say, well, I do have £100 to spend on my ads this month. Let's set it for a month and kind of do a lifetime budget. As somebody who is wading into Facebook ads, and if you do want a full rounded view of what Facebook can do for you, I would do a lifetime budget rather than doing it day by day. Just as a kind of a bit of advice there. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good to me. So £150. Let's put £150 in, and then click continue. And then we don't need to worry about.
No, we won't talk about those yet.
Some of the little details, guys, that you'll see in the kind of other options that opens up. We won't focus on those today. We'll just be looking at the sort of top level important stuff that you need to be checking in here on the options. So what we're looking at now, we're taking through to another screen. We're going to be looking at the audience. Sam, you've got some really big things you want to say here, don't you?
Yeah. So I mean, there are 3 types of audience basically. We'll first talk about the core audience, which is what most people think about when they think of Facebook ads. So that is building from locations, ages, genders, all the different interests. And that's how you build a Facebook core audience. The nice thing again about the interface is it will tell you how far it's going to get. It will tell you how many likes it thinks that you're going to get. Again, that comes down to the optimization. So it knows that it's putting you in front of people who will convert to a page like X amount of times. So they are only estimates, but they're good estimates basically. So Josh, if you just scroll down a bit, so basically what you can choose here. This is a good example actually from Jared in the chat. So if I wanted to target van owners, how does Facebook know who drives a van? Now, obviously, Facebook probably does know who drives a van. However, it can't give you access to that data for a multitude of reasons. We don't live in an Orwellian state. But if you just close that for me, Josh, cool. So what you need to then think of is what is the mindset of somebody who drives a van? I'm going to generalize here. So Leeds, 50 miles of Leeds is it's a good location. Say your business is in Leeds, we'll leave it at that. It could be a little bit smaller, could be a little bit larger, but again, we'll see how big the potential reach is once we're doing this. You can also target people who are traveling in the location, people who are recently in the location, or everybody basically. So I mean, it depends if you're like a travel, so like a B&B, if somebody is moving through the location, you're probably more likely to want to interact with that kind of person rather than somebody who's living in it. If you are van hire or van cleaning, I'm assuming that the majority of your users are people who live in the local area. So you're probably going to want to go quite low. And then obviously people who are living in that location. Again, it's about getting into the mindset of your customer rather than just kind of blanketing it.
Okay, so if I'm a builder or a electrician or plumber or kind of in the trades industry, and I typically work in a 15-20 mile radius. That's typically where I cover. What kind of radius would I be selecting here?
So you want either 15 or 20 miles, luckily. So add your postcode to it, or you can just add the city that you live in, and then it will literally let you suggest, click 15, 20 miles, and it will give you a full radius across there, as you can see. Or, which is something I do a lot with our customers who are kind of fairly niche, we target specific postcodes. So say it's a customer in London, and obviously there's lots of random pockets of affluence and things like that in London. We will just target specific postcodes around London. So you get lots of little dots on the map, but it means that you're not kind of doing that blanket thing where they know they're not going to get any work from.
Okay. Is that the kind of thing you can do when you click boost, or is this the kind of tool that you only have in this?
No, this is only kind of here. If you click boost, I think it will only let you choose a postcode and then the radius. That's it.
Right. So that's really powerful. And what Sam's saying there is that if you are
so there you go. That is a specific postcode.
Yeah. That's it. So you can target specific postcodes and multiples of those as well, different postcodes and different radiuses, like we're showing here on screen. So yeah, you might have multiple different areas that you cover, or you might find that, as Sam said, affluent areas, maybe So I was talking to a painter and decorator, and he wanted to target, if anyone's from the north, you've got Harrogate, which is obviously an affluent area, and Ilkley is another. And so he specifically wanted to target those areas and exclude certain areas. So that is the power that you've got with this business manager here.
Yeah, talking about exclude as well. If you do want to do a radius just to cover a lot, but you don't want to include a certain place that's in the radius, can you see where it says include there, Josh, on the left? You can actually turn it to exclude, so you can take something out of that radius if you really don't want it, which you definitely can't do on Boost.
It's really powerful. That is really powerful.
You can be as specific as you want, or you can be as large as you want, really. I'd always recommend a potential reach of between about 500,000 and 1 million people, unless you're very, very niche in what you do and you just want it around, a 10, 15 mile radius, because that way you're going to capture enough people to move down that line. So, say there's 1 million people who see it, only 100,000 are going to engage with it. Only 10% of those people are going to actually then want something else from you. So you got to move down that way. If you're only targeting 1,000 people, what you're going to equate to is one person. If you're targeting 1 million people, you got 100 people at the end of it.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point. And Emma says, if where she lives, the radius covers a lot of the sea, is there any way for the central point to be shifted to the left? So
so you can drop a pin there. So obviously Kingston upon Hull, if you put a 50-mile radius around that, you're probably going to be mostly in the sea, but you can drop it and you can make the radius as large or as small as you want there.
Yeah. So really, really powerful stuff. The business.facebook.com manager allows you to really target and focus in on specific locations. And if there's one thing you've taken away from this webinar, it is the power and at your fingertips when it comes to radius and location targeting. You all have this all available for absolutely free, and this is us helping you out with this. So that is really powerful stuff. But one thing we haven't even talked about yet is actual audience and interest and things like that. So that's a really exciting part as well, Sam. If I think for Bob, was it Gerard mentioned about how he fits van locks, which is why he was asking about how he wants to target van owners. Now, how would you do that? Because I think that's a tricky one. If he fits van locks, what would the audience? Let's go on to the audience bit now.
Right. So we scroll down slightly, Josh. So obviously, we say that he is in Leeds and he works in a 30-mile radius of Leeds.
Yeah.
So there's 3,600,000 users there. Not all of them are obviously going to be van owners. So what we need to do is then come up with who the van owners are. So I may be wrong here. I'm going to generalize. I'd probably say they're probably 20 to maybe 50.
Age group.
Yeah. Probably the majority are men. Again, generalizing. Tell me if I'm wrong, Jared. But
no comment.
Yeah. But there you go already. So we've taken it down from 3.5 million to just over 1 million, just by changing the age and the gender. Obviously, you can target all. If you click all there, they'll probably double it. Yeah, that's how the gender demographics work. But yeah, basically, you've got to get into the mindset of who you think your customer is. If they are a lot of the tradespeople we work with, they say it's actually women who contact them more. The men will think about it, but it's the women who actually pick up the phone and call them. So we do target a lot with just women, or we split test between men and women, and we always find out that it's women that are actually converting more than men.
That's a really interesting point. Yeah, that is a very good point you make there with that particular. So you've got to get into the mindset of your consumer and the journey that they're going on, because I can relate to that. So yeah, that's a great point you make in terms of the audience, the interests and things like that. Though, so we've looked at age, we've looked at obviously those kind of demographics there. What about the interests?
So interest. So for a van owner, so. Where's
is it above at the top or just there? Is it? I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're there. So detailed targeting, you've got demographics, you've got interests, and you've got behaviors. So the behavior I use the most is engaged shopper. So basically, if you have an e-commerce website, you can get yourself in front of, you can get yourself in front of people who actively, there you go, engage shop behavior. These people actually spend money when they click on an ad. If it is an e-commerce, it's really, really useful if you are an e-commerce business. Notice already that potential reach has dropped to under 1 million now.
Yeah, so that's right. So it's just dropped suddenly. But yeah, engaged shoppers.
That's a cool one. If you are an e-commerce business, always get it in there. But in terms of the van users, so if you probably are a tradesperson, if you own a van, so if you put electrician in there, Josh.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So there you go.
Would it be interest? Would it be interest?
No, it would be a job title over an interest. So I'll tell you what. So master electrician is a job title. In the radius and the age and the gender demographic, there are 63,000 people there. So if you click on that, then that will take it down slightly. But yeah, so this is a job title of somebody who is a Facebook user, who is likely to interact with the ad. Are we doing? Yeah, we're doing page likes, aren't we? So somebody who's likely to interact with a page and like it, who is also a master electrician and an engaged shopper. If you take the engaged shopper off there, Josh, this will show us the issue with being so specific. So fewer than 1,000 people there are master electricians in this area, which is too small for a Facebook audience, because again, as we go with that attrition, you're only going to get one like and it'll cost you a lot of money.
Sam, have you got any good, really briefly on this one, the audiencing, have you got any good examples of recent campaigns that you've run where you've been able to target a specific audience where you thought, yeah, that would, and it has worked? So I don't know, it might be the wedding industry, it might be hotels.
So we've got quite a lot of like B&B hotels. And I tend to do two specific different audiences. So one is business travelers. So these are people who don't live in the area that they are. They are interested in the budget hotel accommodations like Holiday Inn, Travel Lodge, that kind of thing, and who are active travelers as well.
So business travelers, you said?
Yeah.
We type that in, Josh, business travelers? See if,
business has a U, Josh.
There we go. And then... So business travelers, and what was the other one you said?
So if you go business traveler, and then if you put the different interests of like Holiday Inn and that kind of thing.
Okay.
This basically builds an audience of people who are business travelers, and who are interested in the other styles of hotel that are out there. So if you then get your B&B in front of people like this and say, we are cheaper than Travel Lodge, we are cheaper than Holiday Inn, they are very likely to interact with you that way. Frequent travelers is a good one. If you then move up as well, you can actually go with people who aren't in Leeds. It's people outside of Leeds, because obviously if you're using a hotel in Leeds, you probably don't live in Leeds. Again, this is a good example of getting inside of your user's brain. So I then had to decide what a frequent traveler is, basically, or in terms of we have a hairdresser client. They're quite an upmarket hairdresser. They are also in Leeds, but they want to target the affluent areas of Leeds. So what we've actually done is, dog in the background. We've targeted Harrogate, we've targeted York, we've targeted kind of those nice postcodes in Leeds that they feel that their ideal client will come from. And then obviously you put interests of hair extensions, hair coloring, that kind of thing. And then you build the audience up that way.
Okay. Catherine, also on this note, just it might help other people here. Catherine's question is, say, I'm a maternity newborn photographer. What is the best way to target this audience?
Now, this is a good question, actually. What you can do, so I take it your audience is generally married, so you can actually put people who are married. Yeah. So that's an actual relationship status. So these are people in this location who have married as their relationship status on their Facebook. I've never really looked at pregnant, but if you type in pregnant, I do wonder if so it's an interest. Sorry, carry on.
They could be planning. Yeah, they could be planning ahead even, and absolutely.
Yeah. So obviously pregnancy. So these interests, actually, this is a good place to talk about it. These are people who are following pages and other things on Facebook that link to this. It doesn't have to be that somebody is following pregnant chicken. Don't know why that's a thing on there. So yeah, birthday in January. That's a good demographic. So if you're, how would you use that to your advantage? If you're advertising for, we have bouncy castles, target people who are married with children below. Oh, in fact, sorry, children. Type in child.
Yeah.
Children. No, keep going. The demographic. So there is a demographic for people with children of certain ages, which obviously, as a maternity and newborn photographer, that is quite. Well, there it is. Keep going.
This infinite scroll. I think it is there. It is there, but I think we need to find the actual specifics search. But basically, yeah. So you can target parents of children of certain ages, which would be really good for, like you say, a bouncy castle high, or you've got birthday coming up. There's ways and means of really drilling down there on relationship status.
There you go. New parents between the age of 0 and 12 months.
That's it. Look at that. That's a great one to target for Catherine's question.
Catherine.
Okay, so if we just go down then, because just conscious of time then.
Yeah, sorry, I can talk about this for hours and hours and hours. What will also help, so obviously if you are targeting a niche, you can get quite a low number of potential reach. So obviously this is 1 million, so that's fine. Can you see up there, Josh, where it says detailed targeting expansion? What this will do is if your potential reach is quite low, click on that. It's fine with this, but it will actually expand your targeting to something that it thinks is relevant to you, and just make it a better audience for you, which is really, really useful. So it lets us show your ads to more people who may take their action that you're optimizing for, is what the eye is saying. But basically, if you're struggling to come up with a big enough audience based on your interests, let Facebook do the work for you. Simple as that. Absolutely. Yeah. So then connections. So obviously, because we are building here an ad for people who are wanting to like the page, you don't want it to be shown to people who already like the page. It's a waste of money. Yeah. So you can exclude people who like InfoServe. Or if you think you do have like a big competitor who, you really have I hate them, they hate me kind of thing, you can also exclude people who like their page as well. It's very kind of specific you can exclude people who've responded to events, kind of thing.
You can exclude people that have liked a different page.
Yeah,
your competitor's page.
Basically.
Yeah,
so,
right there. Okay, that's really useful.
And then
placements, I was going to say.
Yeah, so I would always recommend, and obviously Facebook is too, using automatic placements. What this will do is put it where it needs to be based on your optimization. Because obviously there's loads of different places on Facebook that your ads can go. Facebook knows if you're optimizing for a page likes where it needs to put it. It could go on the audience network, it could go on Messenger, it could go on kind of a specific part of Facebook. Let it figure out for you, because otherwise you're going to have to then select all the different places where you can put it in the hope that it is going to work. They've got the data, just believe them, basically.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And a couple of years ago, we would have been doing more manual placements. Yeah. So we would have been selecting literally where we want our ad to show in the news feed and on mobile news feed. But having spoken to Facebook so much more about this, and they would have even recommended that a couple of years ago. Now they're saying as well, as everyone in the know, just use the automatic placements. It is recommended for a reason, and it will find you've got to, as Sam says, just trust the machine and the automation to do its job. But yeah, so that's good in terms of placements. And then you've got the schedule. How long do you want it to run for?
So obviously we put a lifetime here. So we pick how long. With a lifetime budget, a week, 2 weeks, a month is probably your best bets based on obviously the budget that you've got and what you're trying to do.
So if I've got £100, £150, Sam, how long would you say then typically
I mean,
2 weeks, 4 weeks?
Yeah, so £150 you can probably run with a page like campaign for about a month, and you'll get some good results. Between 100, anything above £100 for that, I'd say you're doing fairly well. Anything lower, you're then it wants about £1.77 a day, I think it works out at, as the very basis for anything that it will do these days. So.
Okay, and so what you're looking at on the right-hand side of the screen, it actually tells you estimated daily page likes as well. It's just, obviously this is an estimation, but that's kind of what we're looking at there. Yeah. So a small budget like that really can, and this is very targeted as well. It can be targeted by geographic and audience. Okay, let's go to the next screen, because what we want to look at before we end is the creative, the ad itself. And what type of format you should be choosing.
Yeah, so with slightly different with the page like, it will only let you post one thing here. But if you go down, so there's basically, it will let you put out an image or a video, and it will show you an example of it as well. So if you go down, Josh, so it will always come up with an example if you have already uploaded pictures and things. You can go with that if you can't be bothered changing anything. It's not going to be the best, obviously, but
what I want to ask though, Sam, is for that text, because you've got space here for the primary text just on the left hand side there. What would you advise? How would you format that text, and how would you write, and what would you write?
It depends on what your business is. Obviously, you don't want your ads to not reflect your business. So if you're able to put in capital letters and emojis and exclamation marks without it actually impacting on how you show yourself to your consumer, then do it, because it will stop people. If you are a bit more serious, then this is fine, but I will break it up a bit. So obviously, it's a long piece of text there. You can put it onto different lines so people can actually easily read it. Yeah,
more consumable. Separate lines by. If you just want to do that, Josh, just separate a couple of the sentences. So if you click on our teams, just where it says our teams, click enter, and then just separate. So that's what we'd always recommend, is you separate the content block and the lines, so it's easy to read. One thing, Sam, I just wanted to ask is, do we need to give in this section here, if we're asking people to like our page, is there anything specific we or any kind of tips we can write in here to make people like it? Why would I like this page?
As with any kind of marketing, you should always be adding value. So whilst it is great to tell people about your business, give them a reason to follow you. So with ours, particularly with that image there, we could say digital marketing for the SMB since 1999. We offer daily free webinars, free advice based on Google, Microsoft, Facebook best practice, and then everything else that we want to do.
Would you say that you could actually say like our page to learn more about our daily webinar, to get tips and insights from us? Maybe
I agree. I mean, there's different fields of thought here. The clickbait works. That's the way we're designed. If we find out more, then we are likely to try and find out more. However, in the long run, you are likely to lose those as followers, if that makes sense.
Why is that?
Because you've incited them to click through, but they haven't found what they wanted, so they're just going to follow you. Whereas if you do present exactly what you are, and the reasons why they should be following you, then you have almost a more engaged user liking your page.
That's a really good point. No, I think that's a good takeaway, is that, you want to entice people to like your page, and you need to give added value. You need to give a reason for them to like your page, but don't over-promise and under-deliver, I suppose is what we're saying. Really be factual in the reasons why they should like your page and be able to deliver on those reasons. So Bob asks, he has wedding video trailers. Should I upload these to the ad? Well, Bob, we're going to talk about video in a minute, aren't we, Sam? We just got a couple of bits about video. Yes, video is the number one most best performing type of ad. If you have a video, I would say video is something you should use as much as you can. Would you say?
Yeah. The first thing I was told by Facebook is video, video, video. That is how they want people to consume media on Facebook is with video. And as with everything, if you do follow the rules of the people, they will reward you for it. So if you use video, you're going to get more reach than using an image. I mean, coming to best practices for images here. Now with this one, there is a lot of text on this image, so I would probably say it would be denied. 20% of your image should be less than 20% of your image should be text. Otherwise, Facebook will just either squash the reach or it won't allow the ad to go out. And that is specifically because the copy above it is meant to be the text, not the actual image itself. The image is just an image to Facebook.
Okay.
Which is fairly interesting, and a lot of people kind of miss out on that. And sometimes it won't tell you that it is squashing the reach, and you'll notice after the ad has been ran that you only got kind of 80% reach because you had 22% of writing on there. But so it is hunky-dory, really, is kind of balancing saying something on your ad, but also keeping it engaging as well. But I mean, best practices in terms of an image, very, very clear. Bright colors, because they do attract people. And then faces. We interact more with ads with people's faces than anything else. And that is because we feel a connection to it. It's basic psychology with people.
Yeah. Okay. And just what we're going to do is, before everyone goes, just a couple more minutes, if that's okay. A few more minutes of your time, and then we'll be done. It's worth sticking.
Oh, there you go. Your ad may not run.
Yeah. That's there we go. Yeah, because of the text and image. So text and image can, as Sam says, it won't get allowed basically for an ad. But we've talked about here a page like campaign, Sam, and just to kind of sum this all up, if I was to pick a traffic goal, so at the start we talked about all the different goals. If I'd have selected traffic or any of the, I could then, so this bit here, Josh, where you are now, this bit would be different. It would say carousel. It would say, the number of different options. Is that right, Sam? So it wouldn't just be, a case of having one option of a single image.
No, so there are lots of different ways to do it. You can do a carousel, which is multiple images. You could do a slideshow, which obviously is a video of images. You could do a full video. You can do a collection, which is kind of lots of different images and videos. You could do an instant experience, which is really cool, which is basically a little website within Facebook, and it's got like interactive stuff and things like that. You can do a 360 image where you can actually scroll along the image and obviously have to move your phone for it. There's loads of different kind of things that you can do. And Facebook will really help you do it. So here, based on different objectives, it will actually show you some different examples and templates there. And so you don't have to be a full wizard with it. But obviously it does help.
So the carousel, just on that really quickly, the carousel option is something that Facebook recommended for us to use, as much as we can, right?
Yeah.
The carousel one, yeah.
So what this will do is give several different images or videos and then allow your user to slide through them. Best ways to do this is if you do have either multiple benefits that you can show through images or videos, multiple products that you want people to see, or if you want to tell a story, which is, again, coming back to more in-depth creative. So if you're telling the story of, say, us as InfoServe, we have a customer who went from X to Y, then this is them before, this is what we did, this is after. You're just encouraging somebody to click through and actually engage with your ad by reading the story. Lots of different ways to use it. There's obviously lots of different things you can do. In terms of video, just to quickly go, again, it will tell you these in the ads manager for the specs, but the video should be less than 15 seconds. excuse me, vertical, just because of Instagram as well. So obviously it wants to transfer it to Instagram too. So you can do it in 4.5, then that really helps. And then if you do have sound on it, design it for sound off. So it should have some captions on there as well.
Brilliant. Okay. Brilliant. No, that's really helpful, Sam. I'm just going to go through a couple of things now then. So Josh, if I may, I'm going to share my screen, but I am just waiting on something to upload, so bear with me 2 seconds. So in a nutshell, use business.facebook.com. Don't use the boost button, right? Make sure that you're choosing your goal. You've got a range of different goals there. When you're looking at those goals, there's a little eye, kind of like a explanation of each goal and what it does. So have a look at each goal and make sure you're picking the right one. Audience selection is really important. So, geographical audience, age, demographic, etc., interests. You can do all that within this ads manager. And then there's a couple of last tips there on the creative from Sam. Let me see if my screen is it still a bit blurry?
Yeah, we are a bit blurry again.
Yeah. Okay.
Just quickly to answer some questions in the corner. A carousel ad is exactly the same as a static image. What you are doing in the optimization point is deciding how you're spending your money. So you can spend it via click if you're doing traffic. You can spend it just for impression if you want reach, that kind of thing. So that it's all the same amount of money. In fact, the carousel advert can sometimes be less money because it's a more engaging form. The algorithm is fairly dense in how it does it, but don't worry about it costing more. You've set a budget. Oh, he's disappeared.
I'm still here.
Fair enough.
There we go.
But yeah, and the treatment rooms in terms of this, I'll have a quick look at your Facebook map after this, and I'll drop an email. Matt, I assume that you've got the details for this person.
Yeah, I'm just going to make it less blurry. Yeah, I've got. We'll get back to you on a one-to-one basis.
Cool.
But in a nutshell, I'm afraid I won't be able to share my screen because it is a bit blurry. So let me see if there's anything else I want to mention before we go there. Because
tracking is fairly important actually as well. We didn't even touch on the pixel.
Yeah, so we've mentioned it previously about Facebook Pixel, and in terms of Facebook Pixel, guys, to set that up, just simply Google Facebook Pixel, and then you can really easily put a code on your website and get it set up. It's so easy to do. Is there anything specific about Facebook Pixel, Sam, that you want to mention? Because I know that what it does is it tracks all of the visitors to your website, right? It tracks everyone on there. Yeah.
So basically, Facebook Pixel is Facebook's branded version of Google Analytics. It tracks everything that's on your website. The good thing is you can link it to your ads manager. So when you're building audiences, you can actually build audiences based on people who have been on your website and gotten to certain points. You can build lookalike audiences based on people who seem like the type of people who have converted on your website. There's lots and lots and lots of uses for it. But in a nutshell, it just shows you what is happening on your website in a more Facebooky way than Google Analytics does.
Yeah. And so install Facebook Pixel. And if you want any help installing Facebook Pixel, just Google how to install Facebook Pixel. There's a really easy walkthrough from Facebook on that. So do that. But what we were summarizing there is the different types of ads. You've got single image ads, you've got a carousel ad, and you've got single video and slideshow. There's various different ad types that you can choose. And so what we'll do is we're going to do another session, I think, on the different types of ads and give you some demonstrations and best practices, because unfortunately time has run out and there's obviously a lot more that we want to go through. So we're going to look at the actual creative. If that's okay, Sam, we'll do a separate webinar on the creative. for everyone. But I think apart from that, I think we're all good to go. Let me just see if there's any questions in the chat before we do go. So we're just going to dive into the chat. What is the ideal length for video? I don't know if you've answered that, Sam, but we said 15 seconds minimum.
Yeah, so if you're putting it on an ad, 15 seconds minimum. If you're putting it on your actual Facebook feed and it's an organic thing, if you can get it over 3 minutes, that means that Facebook will put an ad inside in the middle of it, and it will actually increase the reach of it. I think I said that on my last session with you guys, but it's a really, really good piece of advice.
Okay. Is Facebook Pixel for business page? Gillian, I'm not sure.
So
go for it.
Your Facebook Pixel goes onto your website. It will then interact with Facebook's user interface and give you details of what's happened on your website after they've clicked on your Facebook ads. The insights on a Facebook business page is something different.
Okay, great. And in terms of, does it cost more to do a carousel ad or video? It doesn't cost more, does it?
No, so the Facebook costing algorithm is based on kind of if you're going on impression or click or obviously event like and conversion and that kind of thing. And then it's based on the quality of your ad, which obviously we didn't get into, versus how large your audience is versus a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, if you put in a budget, it will spend the budget to the best of its ability. It's not going to try and steal money from you, basically.
Yeah, absolutely right. We've got a question here for the beauty treatment. What I'll do is I'll get Sam to follow that up. There's a question in there about old address. We'll follow it up separately if that's okay. And we'll get back to you. In terms of Jerry, hi Jerry. Sorry I miss you guys. Can you do something on ads that are targeted to get qualified leads rather than just volume of unqualified leads? Great question.
Yeah, I mean, that is that comes down to your ad itself. The audience that you're using, and obviously the optimization you're using. It's all of what we've been talking about, really. If you're going to put, come and join. In fact, brain. Come and get a wedding photographer to somebody who isn't engaged, then the likelihood is your leads are going to be fairly bad. Whereas if you target people who are engaged in the area that you work in, who have an interest in photography, then they are likely to be a more qualified lead.
Yeah, and I think the quality of the creative is so important here. So we do need to do another session on that, guys. So do keep with us, because what we'll do is we'll run a session on the creative and we'll show you how you can get the best out of the actual design, the text on there as well, and for different industries. But there are ways of getting more qualified leads from Facebook, and Sam's just touched on it a little bit there. Okay, just a couple more questions. Currently, I have a personal page. Always have a business page. Always have a business page. Never run your business on your personal page. I would not recommend that, because the reason being, there's many things you're missing out on. One of which are insights, and we haven't really looked at insights yet. But on your business page, there should be a tab on everyone's business page. It says insights, and within that, you can really go and look at what behaviors are happening, what are people clicking on, what are people engaging with. With a personal page, you miss out on all of those features. So yes, always do have a business page. And Andrew, yes, you can input a list of contacts to target. You can actually upload email addresses, and you can create something called lookalike audiences, where you can do all of that stuff. Sam, just in the briefest possible way, can you explain about how we can upload email contacts?
So the email contacts are a custom audience. So what you do is you need a big amount of them, obviously. So 500 tends to be a good starting point, and what it will do is it'll link those to a Facebook profile, and then basically you can target those people, or you can build a lookalike audience based on the type of person that they are. Again, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's such a powerful tool to consider. We talked previously about getting email addresses from your clients and customers. if you haven't been collecting email addresses or putting them into some sort of database, then you should do that, and also have a sign up to your newsletter, for example, on your not that one, Josh. It's okay. Sorry, that's the one. Yeah. So Josh has managed to get something up here on the screen. So yeah, make sure on your website you've got a sign up button on there.
Yeah,
as well.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff going around that I'm reading at the moment based on landing pages. Obviously, landing pages are very important, but having a specific Facebook branded landing page based on the ad that you're running really does increase conversion, and nobody has really spoken about that before.
Yeah.
So that might be worth us touching on at some point once I've got a bit more data on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to just say thank you so much for joining us today. If you can, if you want to follow us on Facebook, it's really easy. Just jump onto Google and search InfoServe Facebook, and you'll find our Facebook page. Or if you follow us on LinkedIn, where some of Sam's posts on LinkedIn extraordinary, and the reach is incredible. For example, on his last post on LinkedIn for InfoServe, we got 120 plus comments from people around the country. Unbelievable engagement. So follow us on LinkedIn and check out our content on there. Again, just search InfoServe LinkedIn and you can find the page. So just Google these things: InfoServe Facebook, InfoServe LinkedIn, and follow us. Please. We'd love to see you all follow us. We've got another session planned for the creative because time has run out. We've answered as many questions as we can, but if you want to ask us more questions, or if we didn't answer your question, huge apologies first of all, but all you need to do is go to infoserve.com/COVID, which is our help page at the moment for businesses who need support. Go to infoserve.com/COVID and hit the button that says get a free one-to-one, and we'll pick it up with you on a one-to-one level. Sam, I know that you're up for even picking up a few sort of social media questions. So if there's any one-to-ones needed, and Sam's here all week, he can help out as well on some one-to-ones. So /COVID and hit the one-to-one button. Yes, we can do a webinar on LinkedIn. That's a very good point, Andrew. And I would really say we've got one of the best guys here in Sam to actually deliver you some how to deliver great content on LinkedIn. Check out our LinkedIn page and have a look at the engagement we've had in the last 6 months from our posts on LinkedIn. It is blown up. We've literally gone viral. And that's all down to Sam. So, check out our LinkedIn page. We'll do a session on there. Thank you so much, everyone. We hope to see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. and stay safe and have a great afternoon in the sunshine, which has now come out up here in the north. So thank you so much. Thanks, Sam, as well. It's been brilliant, and we really appreciate your time today.
Cool. Well,
thanks,
stay
Sam.
safe, guys.
Bye,
See you later. Bye.
Bye, everyone.